Hi, I thought today that we would talk about being diagnosed with bipolar 2. Actually, I recently read that bipolar 2 is the most misdiagnosed mental health disorder. I can see why, because when you have bipolar 1, the mania stage is what really shows the therapist that you have bipolar 1, because you're in such a highly elevated mood for, you go a week to 3 weeks. You don't sleep, you can't stop, your body is like just, you just feel like there's electricity inside and you just want to keep going. Then you hit the depressed side where you hit that, roller coaster dip. And then you feel like for a week or two, so down, so tired, beating yourself up for maybe things you did and didn't do when you were manic. Now, with hypomania, we get to a point where we feel really good, we feel energized, right? And we think like, oh, look, I'm acting like a normal person now, which we don't use the word normal with my psychiatrist. We use the word balanced brain that day. But I will often say to her, like, oh my gosh, like I had this energy, I went and did this, I went and did this, I cleaned. And then it's like, I go into the depression and it's like, okay, that was hypomania. That wasn't just me having extra energy. Sometimes I can't sleep for like a couple nights, but I don't have it as bad as I used to. And I will admit that I think all of us fall into this, where if I do have some good days, I get really nervous that I'm then going to have the bad days. I get afraid that it's like, oh, am I having good days, balanced days, or am I kidding myself and I'm in hypomania? So I keep lots of journals, or I keep track of how I feel on a calendar, because then I can go to my psychiatrist and say, okay, for 3 days I felt this way, for 4 days I felt that way, and which I just recently had. So I was able to show her the pattern and we were able to catch the cycle. So I started symptoms back when I was 11. I had the anxiety, I had beat myself up, just putting myself down all the time. I was moody, which then stayed with me through high school, which just the symptoms elevated. Then college, again, the symptoms elevated. And it wasn't until my husband at the time went to my therapy appointment with me and he said, this isn't just depression. This isn't just her having no self-confidence. This is something different. So believe it or not, she pulled out her tablet, 8x11 tablet, asked me some questions and diagnosed me with bipolar 2. Now this was in 1994, like the dinosaur age, I guess. But I don't think they do it any differently now. So for 30 years later, they're still just asking us questions. And my concern is always like, are we being honest, or are you being honest with your doctor, right? Are you saying like, wow, yeah, pretty much the mood was like way up here where I was going and going and going for a couple days, but then I dipped and I felt depressed. So that that's not, a normal way for your moods and your emotions to be going. So the other thing is you just want to also be honest with yourself. Like, don't be afraid just because you're feeling these symptoms to speak up and say something and think, I don't want to have that. Because I don't think any of us with bipolar 2 want to have it, but at least we have found ways to manage it. And at least we can recognize when we're in a cycle, it's like, okay, I'm going to be okay. I already know what this is. You just put your, little tools to work and get through it. And then maybe sometimes you have to ask your doctor, like, do you think maybe I need different meds because I'm going through this death in my family and it could be affecting your emotions? So just please pay attention to how you're feeling. Do you get where you're like 20 pots of coffee, feeling like electricity inside, going and going and going, not needing to sleep, just feeling wound up? Because that's going to be your mania 1. Your hypomania is going to be those things, but calmed down. So you'll feel like you're having this great day. You're not just having a few good days or, continued good days. You're having great days. And then again, hitting the depression. So that will tell you, okay, I need to go to the doctor, because both of those are mood disorders, which just tells us that our moods are not flowing in the order that they should. So I hope that you will either go to the doctor to see, if they diagnose you with bipolar. Maybe they just diagnose you with anxiety, or maybe you just have depression. But that's where so many people get misdiagnosed with bipolar 2. So I would just ask that maybe you keep a log, writing down how you feel, or on your calendar, put a B or, bad day, good day, B or G, just so that you can start to pay attention to those things. And I would love for you to share with the group, like, how did you get diagnosed? Like, at what age were you? What caused you to follow up and say, like, I think I need to do something about this? Because I think it would be really good if you could share that, because then everybody can kind of see, like, that they're not so different after all. Because I think that's what's most important, is that we know we're not different. We're not weird. We're not crazy. We're not the things that society often says that we are. So let's come together, because we as a group need to know that and need to reinforce that. So I'm sending you so much love and light and strength and courage for the week ahead.